Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is out tomorrow, and the early reviews are in, and it is amazing. It's gonna be the game of the year 100. No, it's really bad. It's amazingly bad. Most people hate it. The typical shill YouTubers are struggling to say anything even remotely positive about this. In the best case scenario, they can be neutral. That's when you know the game is gonna be an absolute bust. My heart goes out to all of the people who are fans of the franchise that want to see a Vampire the Masquerade game, including myself. But this is not gonna be it. We knew that this is skinwalking from the very, very beginning. The Chinese room, a bunch of developers who are proudly labeling themselves as woke, as progressive. They have banned people off of the forums for discussing, and this game has pronouns as much as I understand at some points even, which is great, you know. Every good game has pronouns in it, 10 out of 10. Would I ever lie to you? Obviously not.
Ah, yes, the original Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. I remember you well. Those are definitely PS2 era graphics, but those characters, they don't look half bad. And oh,
True.
what in the androgynous is this supposed to be? Would it really be so hard?
Okay, so who are the men and who are the women? I don't know.
To give the female character some calcium cannons? I remember when games were supposed to be fun and not some kind of a political statement.
God damn it, I'm not fat. I'm just shamed for my body in a world where white men decide what's beautiful.
True. Based and real.
What's up, space pirates? This is your admiral, the heroically humble Dr. Disaster. And when a game comes out which appeals to the progressive sensibilities of game journalists, you can expect the reviews for the game to be pretty sterling, because these activists will want that game to succeed. They look at that kind of shit and go,
"Hello, beautiful."
As an example, look at Dragon Age the Veilguard. That was...
I mean, you say look at Dragon Age Veilguard, but you know, I am seeing objectification right there, boys, if you know what I'm saying, okay? Listen, you can call Dragon Age the Veilguard woke trash, but don't you touch my waifu Bellara, okay? She may not be the brightest.
one of the most blatantly woke games in the history of the industry, and gamers despised it, but game journalists tried to prop it up. This here is the Metacritic score for Dragon Age. Game journalists gave it an 82 out of 100, but gamers smashed it to pieces with a 3.9 out of 10. Suffice to say, the so-called professional critics have no problem saying positive things about a game that's pretty universally despised, as long as it fits their agenda.
What? I love garbage.
Well, with that in mind, you have to ask yourself, what does a game have to do in order to get an actual bad score from these professional reviewers?
Well, probably be a Game of the Year contester for being real, aka Silksong, Baldur's Gate 3, and, well, so many Expedition 33, obviously. So many examples. If the game journalists hate something, you know that that's a Game of the Year contender.
And the answer is, you have to be an actually completely unplayable piece of shit, like Concord here. That game...
Now, I'm pretty sure Gollum scored worse than Concord, but that's fine.
was given a 62 out of 100, and pretty much everybody agreed Concord is in the conversation for the worst game ever made. And now, take a look at Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. That game was scored only 2 points higher than Concord thus far. Even the game journalists looked at this turd and said,
That's hideous.
on the one hand, with all of the issues that they had with the development cycle of this game, you might say it's practically a miracle that Bloodlines 2 was even finished. But But for anyone with eyeballs, it's not a miracle, it's a damn curse. It's crazy to look at the design of Bloodlines 2 and see how, in just a couple decades, the aesthetic went from obviously attractive to androgynous lumps of poo. You've just got to throw your hands up in the air and wonder what in the hell happened to our culture.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
Sure, Jan.
Damn. Well, it's always
Right, me
impressive.
hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet. I've had a lot of people tell me
Like the video right now and hype it up on mobile device. It takes less than a second. I greatly appreciate all of you who do it. Thank you.
that they've been unwillingly unsubscribed to the channel, so make sure you look into that, and also give me a follow over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster1, and if you feel like supporting the channel and helping keep the lights on, consider becoming a member for as little as $5 per month. Anyways, let's take a look at what the reviewers are saying about Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. The short answer is, it doesn't look good, not good at all. But for the long answer, let's actually take a look at some of these reviews from the critics. If it isn't apparent already, based on what I have seen and read about this game, I am not recommending that.
Oh, but you have not seen what I have seen. Ah, Lord. The Lord of the Ring of the Ring of the Lord of the Power. It truly is going to be a cultural phenomenon until the end of days.
Anyone play it, but in the interest of fairness,
Do you know why a stone sinks and a boat does not? Because the stone looks down. I mean, it is a horror show, but a blessing at the same time. You know what I'm saying, boys?
we're going to look at what everyone had to say, and we will start with the higher review scores of the game. The highest that anyone has scored Bloodlines 2 so far is an 80 out of 100. The outlet Metro Game Central wrote here, in gameplay terms, it has little to do with the original Bloodlines, and it's not really a role-playing game either, but this is an enjoyable and atmospheric action-adventure that stands on its merits.
This sounds honestly like a 5 out of 10 comment at best. It literally just says, the game is not good. It's nothing like the original, and he doesn't even do role-playing. But it does something, and it does that something not that superly bad. And there you go. That's effectively the review if we swap the words around a little bit so they're actually not nebulous garbage. There you go. Does that sound like an 8 out of 10? No. That sounds like a 5 out of 10, and I'm being pretty generous here.
And I've got to point out that when I covered this game before in previous videos, talking about how actually the gameplay that I had seen and the descriptions that I had heard made it seem like Bloodlines 2 wasn't much of an RPG at all, since you can't really create your own character, you can't really make any choices. When I pointed that out, there were a lot of butthurt people in my comment section getting all pissy, telling me I didn't know what I was talking about, and that actually this game looked like a perfect sequel to the first one. Well, where are you?
Bro, I also am getting like these full-on cope comments in the comment section. Just buy the game and then judge for yourself. Why? Why? What? Not everyone's an idiot. Some of us are pretty smart, honestly, on average. At least smart enough to figure it out by looking at a trailer and looking at gameplay examples that the game is not really good. Why would we need to waste our money to confirm what we see right there in front of our eyes? Now, I understand that if you're woke, you probably don't trust your eyes because you shouldn't trust your eyes, as the mainstream media is going to tell you. You should only trust what they say, okay? Never check, never verify, never think for yourself. Just blindly trust things, and if something goes against what they say, it's lies. False. Wait, what's the word here? False information. What was that other one? Oh yeah, fake news.
You guys at now. One of the outlets who liked this game the most agrees with me, so what do you have to say about that, my dudes? Anyhow, here is another one of the higher review scores for the game, Spazio Games, and it says, in an industry dominated by safe, risk-free productions, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is a bold game. Even in its failures, the Chinese Room has created an ambitious work, perhaps too ambitious for its own means, yet one capable of leaving a mark. It's not the sequel many dreamed of, but perhaps it's one this dark world truly deserved, a flawed title, yet brimming with personality.
What the hell is this cope? I mean, I'm sorry, but this cope is just honestly too much in my opinion. Nothing that we wanted was delivered, but it's really good, trust me, boys.
And vision.
Now, granted, I am the first one who's honestly gonna, on average, tell you that maybe this is not exactly what you wanted. And it always doesn't have to be what you wanted. It can be something new. If a company has been making this game forever, and they try something new, you shouldn't really get mad that they're trying something new. But this is not the situation. This is not that. They want you to believe a lie that they are selling.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but when a game comes out and one of the highest scores given to it uses the words failures and flawed in order to describe that game, that sets off about every alarm bell that there is in my head.
By the way, I love that this character is called Patience. And I mean, again, it's as androgynous as it gets. Beautiful, beautiful. Someone paid a lot of attention in biology class when they were explaining, well, you know, genders are complicated for plants.
Anyways, here is another review from one of the outlets which gave Bloodlines 2 one of its highest scores. PlayStation Universe said, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 might not be the sequel that folk from 2004 wanted for their game, but it is the game we've got. Though largely sparse open world and technical issues are hardly encouraging.
Largely sparse open world. That is such a stupid sentence to make. Because I think this is a blatant attempt of obfuscating the fact that the explorable world is actually very small.
The beautifully evocative interior environments, surprisingly engaging traversal and combat mechanics, together with its neatly
By the way, the traversal is okay. I actually believe that. If there's one thing that this game probably has done right, it is traversal, and ironically.
Conventional buddy movie conceit, which sees two vampires attempting to inhabit the same body, and each with their own motivations, makes Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 a good deal more intriguing than I originally expected it to be. Once again, it's a bad sign when one of the best reviews starts off by saying it might not be what you wanted, but it's what we got. That isn't exactly a sterling endorsement. But let's now get into the fun stuff. Let's look at the reviewers who are not so nice toward this game so that we can get a well-rounded idea of what is about to be released. This score here comes from Games Radar, and keep in mind that Games Radar is an outlet that generally has the so-called correct views. They always kiss the asses of these game studios, but they scored this game a 30 out of 100. The worst score that the game has received, and they wrote here, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is the definition of a crying shame. Clumsy writing and flat, repetitive world design.
Yeah, the writing is gonna be the probably worst part about this, honestly. From everything that we could tell, there's gonna be some one-liners that are pretty good. But all in all, the writing is going to be by far the worst part. If the writing was good, people would not be that mad, okay? If the game is good, but it's not even what you wanted, if the game is good and it's still a bait and switch, people are going to be slightly mad, but people are going to be like, oh, it's still good, who cares? But this is not the case, obviously. So, considering this is not an open world game, this is not an role-play game, well, not a free roleplay game, I should say, but you get to have choices. The fact that this game is supposed to fully be based off of two things: one, writing; two, combat. And we saw combat. Combat's pretty mediocre at best, if we're being generous. And well, the writing needs to be atrocious. It's such an easy thing to predict. Okay, so there's this vampire who's your elder who could theoretically just snap you out of existence Thanos style if he felt like it, and you're like, oh, what a loser you are, I just like you. Yeah, smart.
Expose a handful of good ideas that never take root, while its poor technical quality and unstable performance will render it unplayable for some. The result is a half-baked, blunt-toothed, action mystery hybrid that disappoints at almost every turn, struggling to leave even the ghost of a good impression.
Yeah, that probably is correct. Anyway, that was Dr. Disaster, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Still, obviously, do not buy. It's bad. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Bye!